I recently turned 60 years old, and that's something I never in my wildest dreams could ever kind of vision, right? I could never see it in my mind of me becoming a senior citizen. I still feel like I'm 18, 21, 25. I still mentally I feel young. I'm immature. I make a lot of mistakes. I make rash decisions. I don't have it all together. I fancy things that a 25-year-old or a 21-year-old or an 18-year-old should fancy. And I don't feel like I'm 60. I don't feel like a senior citizen. I look around me and I see people who are actual adults, right? Like serious people with serious jobs and making serious decisions and taking life seriously. And not that I don't, not that I don't take life seriously, but I don't think I've ever really matured. Like I'm a man baby in a lot of ways. I'm a man baby. And my birthday came around October 5th to be exact, and I turned 60 years old, and it hit me like a sledgehammer, man. I'm going to be honest with you. It really shook me and it rocked me. And I don't quite know how to process it, right? And I guess there's nothing to process. It is what it is. Really, I mean, I just got to keep living my life and doing my thing. But it was a big change, and there were other big changes afoot at the same time. I was let go from my job in May of this year, and I was kind of angry and bitter about that. But it is what it is. And I said to myself at that time, I think it's time for me to take a new path in my life, right? I didn't like what I was doing. I've lost all. Honestly, you just watch my videos. I don't really have much faith in the system or the way the world works. I really don't have a lot of faith in corporate America or corporations or Wall Street and all that stuff. And so I was disenchanted for a lot of different reasons. And I said to myself when I got fired, laid off, let go, whatever you want to call it, I said, it's time for me to take a new path and go in a new direction. Try something that really means something to me. Like do something that I truly care about and maybe make me feel like I'm contributing to the world, because I was in sales and I was selling media and advertising stuff, and that is what it is. That's not curing cancer by any stretch of the imagination. And the months went on and I just didn't find that thing, honestly, and I had no paycheck, and I still need to work. I have a daughter who's 21, a son who's graduating high school this year and is going to go to college, and I don't have the money to retire. I used to get a lot of comments. Why don't you just retire, man? You shouldn't be working at 60 anyway. Well, good for you if you don't have to, but a lot of people just have to. That's just the way it is. Whatever. Maybe it's my fault. I understand that, but I'm willing to pay for my mistakes by continuing to friggin' work. So the months went on, and I was looking for that new path, and that new path never came. I somehow got offered a job. But it's doing the same thing. A step down, it's actually like a career-wise, definitely a step down, but in the same industry basically. And I took it. I took the job. That's what I did. I took the job. And so I went back to work, and it's grinding. Honestly, it's grinding. I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. There are people who grind harder than I do. They have harder jobs physically and mentally and all that stuff. But it's grinding, and it is what it is. And I started that job about a week or 10 days before my 60th birthday. So, I'm going to be honest with you. It's called American Truth Bomb. I need to be truthful. I'm not happy about it. Do you remember growing up, there'd be the old guy or maybe even a parent? You had a parent, and they just kind of, once they reached a certain point in their life, they were just completely honest about everything. Like they reached that I don't give a fuck stage in their life, and they're going to say what they say. They don't care who it offends, whose feelings it hurts. They're going to do what they want to do and say what they want to say. It's like a sense of freedom. You maybe you cross this threshold of a certain, and you're like, hey, I can do and say whatever fuck I want. I don't care. Like what can they, whoever they are, what can they do to me? If I'm honest, if I tell it like it is, what can they do to me? And I think that's where I am at this point. I've reached that, I don't know, that nexus in my life where that's how I'm feeling. But I've also, my eyes are open to a lot of stuff. Like I've really, my eyes are opened, and they've been opening, but little by little. But really now, at 60, wide awake to a lot of things, a lot of the BS, a lot of the grift that's going on, a lot of the thievery, a lot of the not discrepancies, but a lot of the unfairness in the world, and how we're trained and taught and raised to think something is one way when it's something else completely, whether that's, college or jobs or religion or whatever it may be. There's a fine layer of bullshit that's blanketed on top of everything we've been taught and everything we're expected to do and everything we're expected to say and places where we need to go and people we need to vote for. It's all bullshit. I don't want to say it's a spiritual awakening so much as just like, hey, I'm only going to be here if I'm lucky another 20 years or so. If I'm lucky, I could drop dead today. I could be walking out of Taco Bell after just having a mucho combo burrito of some sort and just fall right on my face and die. Hey, if you're watching this video on any day after December 6th and you find out it dies, and you find out I dropped dead, you go, wow, that guy was a psychic. But that's where I am in life. That's where I am. And what I'm doing with that information is I'm sharing it. I'm sharing it with the people who I love most, which are my children, and letting them know, like, hey, don't believe in this facade. Don't believe in this fairy tale that we've been taught. Things like your vote counts. You go to church and your prayers are answered. All that kind of nonsense, because that's not really true. Believe in this or you're going to burn in hell. Like, believe in what you want to believe in. I'm not telling anybody whatever. I'm saying everybody has what you're supposed to do in your answer, and it's all for control, and it's all for money, and it's all for power. It's all for keeping everybody in a box. We're all in a box. I think that we have, this is my realization now. I think we have so much potential, but that potential is strangled. It's constricted from the time we're children. When you're a little kid in school and you're acting out or you're singing, they tell you sit down and shut up. It's like, why? That's how it starts. It's like they start molding you and shaping you and scaring you and threatening you. And promising you things that never really come and never really arrive. I try to be a little comedic on this when I make videos, and again, I haven't made one in months, guys, in months. And the reason why I haven't made one in months is because I haven't, if between you, me, and the fish in the fence post, I haven't been compelled to say anything that's worth saying. Like, what am I going to come on here and just start to spew a bunch of bullshit that I don't really believe in, doesn't make any sense, and is not really compelling to me? If it's not compelling to me, why would it be compelling to you? So I haven't made a video in months, and it's Saturday morning, and it's 11 a.m., and I'm sitting in front of my computer. I'm like, you know what? Today, for some reason, I feel like I need to make a video, and so I'm making one. And I don't have a script, I don't have anything here. This is all freewheeling stuff. But this turning 60 and kind of having this realization of how the world works, this is for me, this is what it's all about now. And so I am working, and I'm disenchanted, disillusioned, and frankly, I don't have much faith that that's going to last long. Why? Because I'm in this place now. And so I need to, I really do need to navigate to that certain spot, that sweet spot for me, for the next 5 or 6 years, whatever that may be. And, try to ride out the rest of my life in harmony. There's a lot of things that could have been in my life, I think I'm pretty smart. There's a lot of things I could have been if I only applied myself, if I stuck to it, if I had a better attitude, I think. a lot of things that could have been. But I'm here, and that's fine. It is where it is. But now I don't think my dreams aren't about like, accomplishing these like major goal. I have no desire to be a corporate titan, no desire to be a billionaire. No, like I just want to kind of be comfortable, and ride out the last of my days. Like to me, a successful guy now is, do you ever go on vacation and there's that dude that's he works at the hut that maybe like rents jet skis or little sailboats to people, and he hangs out there all day and he talks to people, and he's really tan, and he's probably 50, 60 years old, and he looks to be in good shape, and he just looks friggin' happy because he's just having fun. He's just talking to people. Like that's a successful guy. Like that would be my success right now. If I could do that, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. I don't know, like what do you like, let me know, like in the comments, like what if forget like money and control, like what would you do right now to be really happy? What would make you really happy right now? It may be doing nothing, but I don't think doing nothing makes you happy. I was unemployed for like 6 months or whatever it was, and I had all the time in the world, and I didn't really do anything with it, And a lot of that was like, because of fear. I was like, oh, I can't spend any money. But I think a lot of people retire. So, you hear a lot of things like, I'm going to retire. Man. I'm going to spend my days on the beach. But they don't spend their days on the beach. How many days and how many hours can you go to the beach to like lay in the sun? You don't do that, You're not going to lay in the beach for 20 years. Very few people are going to do that. So most people end up just doing nothing, hanging out, watching TV. Then you really start getting angry and bitter because you're either watching Fox News or MSNBC or some shit, and whatever side of the spectrum you're on, and you're just getting, amped up all day long. You get angry. You start writing like angry posts on Facebook, threatening people. And then a lot of people, they retire, they wait till they're 65 or 67 or 7, they retire, and then because they have no meaning in their life anymore, really, they start going to the doctor, and once you start going to the doctor, shit goes downhill really fast. Like they find something, it leads to another thing. Before you know it, you're on 15 or 20 meds every day, and then you're getting old and frail and ill, and you're in a nursing home, or you drop dead. By the way, I made a video about the horrors of nursing homes. You can find it. Maybe I'll link to it because that's a whole nother story. But here I am, 60. I don't have like a lot of wisdom. Like you're not gonna leave this. You're not gonna, if you're still watching this far in, you're not gonna like turn this off and go, wow, that guy has some great insight. Yeah, this dude, he knows what thank you. I'm not Mel Robbins, that's for sure. Mel Robbins is a woman. She's like a whatever. You can look her up. I'm just me, man. I'm just me, and I'm waxing poetic on a Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. It's freezing out. There's a little snow fell last night here in New England, a little bit. It's just cold. It's that time of year. I don't know. I'm in my basement. That's where I do things. They're in my basement. But here I am, turning 60. I read somewhere recently that people who turn 60, it's the happiest time of their life. For whatever reason. And maybe it's for what I said earlier about not giving a F anymore and kind of just being free and saying what you want, doing what you want. And I think, retiring for many people has a lot to do with it, because if there's one thing I've learned for sure is that almost everybody hates their friggin' job and wants to get out. Like almost everybody is miserable every day they have to get up and go to work. Like almost everybody. I know I'm gonna get comments like, I love my job, man. I get up. Okay, you do, but 99% of other people just hate their job, and they hate it because they have to suck it up. Suck up to some fucking boss who doesn't know anything more than you do, and it's just making your life miserable. Or you see people getting laid off all around you, and you're just waiting for your turn to be next, or you just have to eat crow every day and not be able to speak freely. And again, you get your paycheck, and you can't even though you worked all week for 40 hours, you can't even go to a friggin' Stop and Shop and buy a steak because it's $25 a pound, and so you're angry, and it's like, what the F am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? But I digress. This is about my thoughts on turning 60, and I don't know, man. I don't know. That's where I am. How old are you, man? If you're 40, let me know. If you're like 40, I'm trying to remember what I was like at 40. I think I was still trying to I was still trying to make it, still trying to get there, trying to reach that, financial. I think that's where I was at 40. At 50, I said I was starting to get tired. Now at 60, I don't know. I was talking to my wife last night, and she's at wit's end too, still working. And talking about people, this is it. Let me tell you this story, because this is great. My wife, who's in education, she's a teacher. These teachers are all miserable. They have, I know you say a lot of people crap on teachers, but they get crapped on a lot, They get crapped on a lot, and their lives are made more and more miserable every year with all this stuff they pile on. And she was at a get-together of teachers. And one of them said, and this is, it's not a direct quote because I didn't hear it myself, but the quote was, this woman is a teacher who's very, very miserable at her job for a variety of reasons that are going on in the school system. And she said to the group, in all seriousness, she said, this is a woman who recently had cancer. She said, I was happier when I was on chemotherapy and I had time off to go to chemotherapy. I was actually happier then than I am now. That's not a lie. That's the truth. That's how much people hate their jobs and how miserable they are and how much shit they have to put up with. And I don't think the human being was meant to put up with a lot of shit. I don't think that. I don't think that's what our souls, our spirits, our consciousness is really here for. I don't think we're here to hate everything and every day, every way. I don't think that's why we're here. But that's where I am. So I haven't made a video because I haven't had anything to say. Maybe I'll get into it again if I find the time. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas if you believe in that. Happy Hanukkah. Happy New Year, of course. Happy Kwanzaa. I don't really care. I'm non-denominational, man. Everybody believe what you want to believe. Celebrate the way you want to celebrate. But I wish everybody a happy end of December and a happy end of 2025. And let's hope that we're here to have this conversation at the end of 2026. Stay healthy. Stay strong. I love you all, everybody. And I'll see you on the next one.